Caleb, we just finished interviewing Jason Chow.
Sure did.
Jason is the vice president of internal auditing, but he does not believe in using his title or sharing his title.
Yeah.
He believes in adding value to people everywhere he goes with everything he does. And that is from sending encouragements from afar, right? He's had really well. That is from developing intentionally his team members to go out into the group and do a bigger, better job than what he brought them in to do.
Sure.
And that is consulting at the store levels to really help protect our stores, our people, and our investments.
So cool. A guy who could be caught up in title. He's not. He just looks at the lift that he tries to bring to the organization, and that's all you need to know about him. And so you get to talk to him, and he's amazing.
He's so fun. And he's just kind.
Yes.
He's one of my favorite people. One of the best people.
Completely agree. The guy's a dynamo. And check it out. Enjoy it. Jason Chow.
On the other hand, though, does anybody even read emails anymore?
I definitely do. I don't have a choice. He's so responsible. He's like, I need no choice. Blah. But I do work based on the timing. Who's sitting it first? Do I read it between 9 to 5 or do I read it 6 to midnight? So there's some big differences.
Yeah, because so there are a lot of emails that come through. Like everybody's just overwhelmed by emails, and so you look at those and you're like, okay, I need to do something with that. That's not urgent. That's not urgent. That's not urgent. And so they go down to the maybe be read one of these things. I know, like Jason will send. Jason will send me emails like 3 weeks later after I send an email, and he'll be like, but he does read his emails, but it's like in the not urgent, right? And so it'll be like 3 weeks later, he'll be like, I just read this. I just looked at this. I just watched this, right? And so I'm very grateful for him because at least I know my emails are not being immediately deleted, and he is paying attention to them. So I'm in a category in his mailbox.
Right, let me maybe tweak what I just said. Depends who is the subject. Also. Subject also.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't want to use my words out of context.
Yeah, Jason reads all of his emails, just not right away.
Based on person and subject.
Some people, he might even delete their emails, but not mine.
He can argue like Harper, C, trash bag.
But when I do reply, I probably prefer specific. So it's not say, oh, nice job. I try to put
And
that.
he does. He's very, like, when he does read it, because, you know, for me, I'll, like, skim an email and be like, and then I'll be like, oh, there was another question in there. But not Jason. Jason is so good. He's like, it's like when he listens to you, when you're talking to him, he's engaged, he listens, and he responds appropriately. And I wish I was more like you.
Well, very kind. But I try. That's why it takes me a few weeks to respond.
I can't. I hear you talk. I hear precise. That's cool.
I try. Yeah, I try. So.
Well, he's on it.
Right, exactly.
There's no room for
His job for his hazardous job, so.
That bodacious intellect refuses to let me down.
During the weekends, yeah.
So, oh yeah, very good. Beat that up. Huh?
All right, so Jason, we're super excited to have you here. I know we kind of like threw this in last minute because you're not in town all the time.
Right.
But I tricked you, and now you're here. So let's
You will comment on that, but
so let's talk a little bit. But so before we get into my questions, would you mind talking a little bit about a little bit about your background, what you were doing before you came over to Hudson, maybe why you made the choice to come to Hudson.
Good question. Right. So I started traditionally public company auditing and legal companies. After 3 years or so, then I want to get more than just the numbers. I want to get into some of the operations, and also another thing that attracted me. So I want to stand it back at Decker. What in addition to operational piece to the numbers, also allow me to travel global.
Oh, yeah.
So at that younger age, travel globally, whereas to Paris, to Poland, to Hong Kong and Taiwan, or all over the United States, because it's a manufacturing, so it's everywhere. So that really attracted me quite a bit. That's how I keep continuing on that type of audit, and then move on to AT&T, Iron Mountain, and then when I heard during the COVID, when I heard that real estate is the hottest market as well as car sales. I don't know jack about real estate. I said, oh,
That might be interesting. So that's how I did. That's how I got to Hudson. Wow.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about that. One, what's been your favorite place to travel to?
good question. There's several very good places. I was in terms of experience and travel, commingle work, like Poland,
Okay.
fantastic.
Wow. Why?
Oh my god, I ate that whole table of food for like $20.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's great.
It was, the food was good.
It was very, very.
Because the food in London is not good.
I think in London, it's okay. Gotta go to the right restaurants then.
London is interesting. That's the first time I ever tried Indian food. I didn't know Indian food was so popular.
That's what I heard. And we did not hit up any Indian restaurants, but that's what I heard. That go to the Indian restaurants in London.
So I said, being relative at that time, being younger, I never had Indian food. So a company sent me to London to do some work. I was like, oh shoot, let's try that. It was interesting. It was very good. Probably another very interesting place for me that I really enjoyed was doing some work in Taiwan.
Okay.
The food was fantastic. You should try that.
Okay.
It was just very interesting. Just the food, the people. It was very, very. I just had a good time.
I'm a food person. Are you, Caleb? Like when I travel, like the first thing I do is like I'll look up like Food Network and see like where they recommend, and my vacation will revolve around food.
Yes, absolutely. The thing is, like, I'll look up, did Anthony Bourdain go here? Like, whatever, it's just people who throw themselves into, like, I don't know, I'm just here for it, try it. It's like, it makes no sense to go somewhere and eat where, and this is not a risk to say, right? So, but it makes no sense to go somewhere and eat where tourists eat. You just want to find where the real locals live.
Right.
And like, why go if you're going to have some cheap imitation that you get in the mall?
Totally agree. Don't put me in a chain. We just came back from Antigua and we stayed with my aunt and uncle, and my uncle is native from that area, and so they cooked for us when we were there. Like most of the time they cooked for us when we were there. We ate at No Chains. But Sunday morning they do this big thing because like originally we were gonna fly out Sunday, but she like, you have to stay Sunday. There's like a big party that night, and like they do Sunday morning breakfast like everywhere. It's like a thing in Antigua. They do this Sunday morning breakfast, and so she asked Sean before we went, like, what don't you guys eat? And we're like, go to whatever, like we'll eat whatever. And so she made us, and it was like saltfish and chop and it's like plantains, and it was so good. And like I wanted to just eat more and more of it, but I didn't want to seem greedy and shoot. They were so shocked, and they were just like, oh, you guys, like most people that come from the United States and come visit us, like they don't want to eat and they don't want to try these things. And I'm like, like they got problems, like put it in front of me, let me try what you guys eat. And I think that's all right. I don't want to get into it, but that's the problem with America.
I'm with you. I had Chinese food in Ho Hat in Mongolia, and it was the best Chinese food. Yeah, and we had some missionaries who were friends there, and we went to stay with them, and that food was off the chain. It was so good, even in like places like Beijing, and not like just look for the dyes or whatever. Oh my gosh, makes you want to slap a relative. Like it's so good, and you're right. It's wasted on.
Okay, but here, let me tell you the problem. So it was amazing because like she cooked it for us, and like they're local there, but the locals there, they did not like I'm pretty sure they didn't like Americans. Like, they weren't a fan of ours anytime we went out. And so I think that like the tourists that come on the like cruise ships and stuff like that, those people like they may or may not like them. They like them for their money and they probably don't enjoy them. But like going into like local places, they're like, who do you think you are? Like,
Oh,
why are you? Who are you? Why are you here? You're not local. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sticking my big American dumb face in places, you know. What you got here out here? Like, yeah, checks out. They're American.
Big cowboy hats. You walk around.
Howdy, partner.
Also breaks the ice a lot too.
Yeah.
When you have lunch or dinner, something different, especially with the locals. Yeah, that's the icebreaker. Just
Yeah.
conversation. Even a business hub,
Agreed.
open that up quite a bit. So
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, those things are so important.
Oh, by the way,
Get people together over a meal.
how I got to Hudson, it's not all those other big companies. Is I also spent almost 10 years at Asbury Automotive School.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Let's forget that's my most important. That's how I got good at
I was going to ask you about that. I'm like,
How do you get in all these different kind of companies? What have to do with garbage?
I was killing it for a competitor.
Let me get that in, just in case how I did with it.
and you told me something yesterday that I thought was interesting and I didn't know about you, and that is that you worked on like fixing the Obamacare system. Healthcare
I did.
in Washington.
In Washington D.C., I did. I spent a couple of years working for United Health Group. Okay, so we're hiring to fix it after Obamacare system did not work, particularly the system. So
Health exchange?
Yeah, the health exchange. So it didn't work. So because United Health Group is so big in the medical field, so they sent a bunch of us. There was a lot of us, so it's not just me. So a group of us to help with tighten up the policies, the processes, and all the good stuff to make sure the system worked. I think the challenge was because they hired so many excellent, reputable IT folks to put in the software for the system.
Yeah.
But all their contract is for this, and this. No one else tested across. So you press a button, yeah, this works. Yeah, this works. This works.
Oh, my God.
So that's how we came in. Yeah, so we came in, and because my background about audit policy and processes and controls.
Yeah.
I said, you guys talk. Why don't have all these vendors sit in the same room and talk what works?
Really?
So I think that was one of the errors that we should have done better.
It's our government, right? It's our government. They say, yes, this is perfect. Make it be, right? And I think he said yesterday, like, they just had no experience in the healthcare industry, so they're trying to create these things, and they don't, like...
They're very good about the system. I mean, they're part of the contract, what they have to do, and they're all very good. It all works. It just doesn't work across.
Yeah, it doesn't work across them.
All right.
And you didn't really say that about the dealership as well, right?
Best segue I've ever heard. I love it.
Only because like we're so compartmentalized inside the dealership sometimes, where like I do my job so well as a service advisor, and my job is to sell this person services for their, I do my job so well as a salesperson, I do my job so well over here, but like sometimes we don't realize how closely our jobs like integrate with the people beside us, because we've never learned, right? Like we've only been taught this piece of our job. And so there are some times where there are, you know, kind of like breakdowns in between the communication because they don't understand how the other pieces work, and you've never created it to kind of like work.
No, that's right. The integration costs much.
Yeah.
That's how we want to build that relationship to working things across. So that's why I often work with the operations side and say how it boards together the detail accounting, account back. So a lot of it is a communication also. So then you set up for further each of the job. But you know, no one did that each time to go across and make sure all our job as a team.
Sip then.
I just want to say, or I just want to ask, like, can you give me your job? Is that okay? Can you give me your job title one more time? Your job, just.
Where's my name tag?
Where's your name tag?
But they technically only has my job.
Okay.
No titles.
And
I purposely made it that way.
That's awesome.
Internal Audit.
Actually, in love with the idea of not having a title. It's just what the lift you bring. That's kind of great. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of.
But I don't have my it's in my computer bag, but it's just in my John Internal Audit.
He doesn't want people to know what a big deal he is.
No. Just do your job.
What if I asked you, like, so what'd you say your job is? Like, well, I audit internally. But can you describe the lift? Sorry, can you describe the lift that brings, to the organization and why we need it so much?
I think that's influence. I mean, I don't want to put the title in front of my work, so I do want to go in and talk to them. But by default, since I've been with Hudson for wow, come 8 years. Boy, wow, I'm on that game.
We won't say this, that me and Jason. Well, I didn't know if I liked Jason at first.
We want that on air. Should that be a cut? Or might be a funny
Cut
one.
that. Jason's amazing.
I would say we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other as well. Actually, that's not true. I did not like Jason. I was very wary of Jason.
On it, see? So I put a title on top of my job function. She hate me
That's
even
what he
more.
was talking about.
Audit? Forget
I was
it.
like, what is this dude trying to come in here and do?
That's his angle.
Audit on my stuff. That's why she always kept the door half closed.
I was very busy, Jason. Very busy.
Especially when you're in the office.
But it is true. When I first started, so get onboarded.
Yeah.
All the questions I have to ask. So after a couple of quick questions, I say, okay, if I need some IT help, who do I ask? Faith said, me. Okay, I think I have some more HR question. Who do I ask? Me. How about some benefits and stuff? Me. So everything's me. So maybe that's why I will keep my door half closed. So that guess what happened. It's a true story. That was funny.
Wait, it actually, and it was the same with not the same, but it was the same with Caleb. Like, we didn't know each other, and then once we did get a chance to like sit down and talk one time, just like with you and I, when we got a chance to sit down and talk one time, then I was like, oh, like we had such a connection.
We hit it off great. But before then, I was legit afraid of faith. But it's until you get side by side with the person, you start talking about stuff and you connect over like this kind of like sort of idiosyncratic thing again. But when you see someone else, you're like, wow, you too, I thought I was the only one, and you apply it to all these different theaters in terms of what you're working on, and like she liked improv and like all kinds of cool stuff that was just really like awesome. It was like, oh shoot, this has been all my life, and I could see the same coming, because I knew she was important. Well, you're important, and it's like, just do my job, and that's a great answer, because it's like, I'm not important. I provide a certain kind of lift, just like you do, just like you do. So can you tell me about what that lift looks like a little bit? Like you said you work a lot with operations, fixed operations.
That's operations.
Or operations, forgive me. Okay.
That's a good question, actually. Like, our internal audit, what we do is, again, depends on different company, different size. Again, it's internal. The senior executive can dictate certain functional area. I'm mapping big company. For example, AT&T, you have internal audit that work on just financial, some just operations, some just the network of the transformers and all that stuff. Depends on size, really size of company. So what I try to bring as much as I can to Hudson Automotive is I integrate my audit. So we go through financials, your operational, your regulatory compliance. Those are 3 high-end components what we have to do. On top of that, we also look into some places like physical security, as well as and on a project right now I'm working on, we also look for safety. So there's a lot. So we really try to integrate, and also and some IT, some general control over IT also. So we will integrate 5 or 6 steps item, but of course financial accuracy is number one. But that's affected by operations on it. So we try to integrate our internal audit as on a risk-based basis on our approach. So, but not every company does all these type of audits in one swoop when we go in. Some just like some other company will just say, I'll just look at inventory. The next team will come in, oh, I'll look at some IT. Next team will come in, I'll look at some financials. So that's too partisan. So I don't want any of that stuff. So I want, when I'm able to finish an audit, we get a really good report, and we only have to be there one time. And so this way you get a good dashboard up, good report card versus, oh, every 6 weeks someone skins it. So they can never get the job done.
And a lot of times people will be like, oh no, the auditor is coming. I know I've gotten those emails, Jason. They're like, oh, I can't. The auditor is gonna be in next week, right?
Still, right?
So that's what we're here to do today, right? Breaking the audit stereotype. So Jason is a very serious person. He doesn't laugh at all.
He's actually
typical auditor. No, but seriously, like people do it, there is a stereotype and a stigma around like being the auditor, even internal auditor, that, oh, you're coming in here to tell me all the things that I'm doing wrong. You're coming in here just to find mistakes, right? Because if you don't find mistakes, why do you have a job? But that's not the case. That's not how you view your job. So tell us how you view your job and how you bring value to not only the company as a whole, but to the individuals inside the store.
That's a good question. That's a lot of stereotype there. No, what we try to do, my whole team, what we truly try to do as an integrated audit, how do we objectively provide best client service? So obviously, you're right. I would not say find problems, but I would say there's 5 areas where we improve. And I think the key to that, to break that stereotype, is have an open communication and transparent, exactly the transparency what we did. So generally, in always our general matter, the control. So this way, you don't get the full stereotype, but at the same time, of course, I'm objective assurance where I had to provide it back to the company. And building that relationship, open communication, as well as having that transparency, I think it really helps a lot to build relationship. Again, and that more like the partnership, what we do, being leader, right? Leadership. And that goes across the company as a whole. So that's what we did.
And I see your audit reports, and they're very detailed, and it isn't. People think that you go in there to try to find things because you want to be able to like be like, look what we found wrong. But the reality is that you go and try to find things that we can make stronger, and it would just be like just like an Olympic team, right? You have an Olympic team that they're in the Olympics, so they're very good, but there are things that they can strengthen, right? Or vulnerabilities that other team can come in here and hit here on the defense, right? Because this is an opening for them, and so you're that person that goes in and finds like, oh, hey, when the defense comes in, if this is not tightened up, then they can get you. Here's where somebody can steal from you. Here's where we can lose a license. Here's where, we could get in trouble with this or that or the other thing. So it is not a like, aha, got you thing, but it's more of a like, hey, we're trying to make you stronger, and these are things that you might not see. So I'm coming in here to try to like strengthen up this weak point right here.
That's very good. I think I like the way we brought it back to the sports, the Olympics, and being and stuff. So I do. I have a phrase for that. Even the best players need coaching.
Yeah.
So I really try to go in and help the GMs, the controller, certain areas that they can work better on. So that's how I approach it. So I really coaching how things work. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar needs coaching. Right? It's go research John Wilson.
Russell.
Yep, it's coaching exactly. Where are they? I love this Steve because he's the version. So that's how I approach it. More coaching, combination of about GMs, our controllers, and everyone else, and so it's my own team. So that's how I approach it. That comes across pretty good. I think when people are able to take certain things in perspective, I think people in a way that don't respect what you do the more. So again, like you said, I'm not black and white type of artist. I don't need your ahas type of stuff.
You go from like
auditor to having like an S under your chest. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Look at that.
sing.
Now you're Superman.
No superpowers. Just a lot of work. A lot of hard work. No superpower. No, I do. I am trying because I developed a similar program in other companies that becomes very successful. Really develop controllers into our dealership.